Right now, listeners, we have this privilege, this opportunity of speaking to the producer for
Warrior Games,
Steve Sxwithul'txw. How are you doing? And thank you for talking about the show.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks for having me here.
Speaking earlier with one of the producers, we often hear about how to engage youth and with their culture. It's often arts. You hear about how they use theater or music, but you're using the games and kind of putting emphasis on that because, that is one of the other ways to reach the young people. How did this concept, this idea start? You're covering a lot of ground, like you're going North America, Central America, the Arctic.
Well, we are, and I think the whole plan behind the concept was to make sure that we're covering as broad an area as possible in reference to Indigenous games, because there are so many games that people have no clue what's about. I mean, albeit lacrosse is fairly common, but there are areas in North America that people have no idea what lacrosse is. So we try to give a broad range of varying games that people would find interesting, and more importantly, the youth would find interesting.
And some of the games described, the overview giving for the series is the hunters when they were jumping across the ice, and there's another one, passing the fish. I think that's down here on the West Coast.
No, it's actually based out of Stalo and Seabird Island area. And passing the fish was actually, historically, it was a way in which the community got together to process fish from the river. So they would all line up and pass the fish one at a time, up the hill, so to speak, and off to be processed. So this is a game in which was explained to me that they wanted to carry on that tradition with the youth and actually made a game out of it. So they would pass a slippery fish back and forth, and you'd do it as quickly and efficiently as you could. So it was actually a lot of fun. Very slimy, though.
Oh, yeah, imagine.
But it was fun.
Yeah. If it's okay, just to describe how the elders, the expression they had, like being able to be involved in this way, reintroducing the culture through the games, and the games that they were familiar with, but it had been lost.
Well, today's technology, we're battling smart TVs, iPhones, iPods, computer games. I mean, it's just nonstop. Youth are being dragged away from what's important within the community. And these games, any of these games that are Indigenous focused, are being taken away from the kids. So we really want to have an opportunity to reintroduce that to them. And from an elder's perspective, that's really important. We're getting well received by community members, and including the elders, about what we're trying to achieve, and that is to have youth refocus on what's important. Language is always first and foremost for a lot of our people, but here's a way that we can kind of sidestep that a bit and bring those games and understanding of culture a little bit closer to the community in a fun and meaningful way.
The series is going to air in 2013. How have the people exposed to this new series outside of the community responding to
the whole concept? To the people that we're, to our funders, to people that I've introduced the game to and talked to about what we're producing this new series, it's through APTN obviously, and it's an Indigenous focused game. But to non-natives outside of the community, they think it's fantastic. I've had friends and family comment on it, thought it was a great concept in which, again, the youth can stay focused on what's really important, what the traditions were in the past, and carrying it forward in a positive way. I mean, anytime you get a student or youth, one of our youth, involved in this and staying athletic or keeping the mind sharp or whatever type of game it is, it makes it really important for them, and it only benefits the outside community as well, because we've got a lot of our First Nations people wanting to come work in modern day society and they don't have the skills to do it. Well, here might be a chance to open up and actually learn a skill, learn how to be confident, learn how to physically handle yourself in any situation, and that's a skill. It's a life skill that you can take in the community and outside of the community as well.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but so far, like in these early stages, is there something that stands out that gave you some really personal gratification? Seeing some of the youth, how they changed through this, being reintroduced to their culture in this way and connecting to their culture in this way?
Well, it is early on, but I can tell you right now, just from this segment we're doing on lacrosse, we had a lot of youth come down to us in the Capilano Reservation there on the North Shore. And we had some young people watching us with the TV cameras and with some of the younger youth that were dressed up and wanting to play. They were wanting, the young people on the sidelines were wanting to play and picking up a ball and holding on to the stick. And it's just a way of carry on a tradition. So I'm thinking that the more exposure that these games get with the youth, and including the toddlers, it goes a long way in the community.
An extensive tour. We mentioned the Arctic, North America, Central America, many different regions, and different cultures within the First Nation community. It's kind of early, but have you seen some kind of network building among the different communities through this so far?
Well, I think that's the plan. I think it is early to say that would be happening, but I know they've been very receptive outside of Canada in reference to some of the games that we're proposing to show on the on our TV show. Again, we're only in our first TV series in our first season, and we think that there's an opportunity to expand on this. Like we said, talking about North America and talking about other areas of the world. I mean, we want to take it as far as we can, but again, there's no doubt about it. I mean, when we travel abroad and we're working with different Indigenous groups, we have a sense of communication and a sense of bonding because we're all Indigenous. We all have our own unique cultures and traditions, and that's something that we understand, which sometimes non-natives can't really understand.
The series is airing next year, 2013. If the listeners would, at this stage, early stages, if people would like to engage a little bit, have some questions about the show and when it airs, is there a site they can go to, a fan page on Facebook?
Absolutely. We're developing a Facebook page which should be out next week, and as well as a Twitter account, and we're actually developed a website at www.warriorgames.ca. And if people want to go check it out, we're in the midst of putting it into play, but there's going to be a lot of information, our travel schedule, bio, what we do, where we're from. I know we're fairly new in a lot of these communities, so we want people to know who we are and what we're trying to accomplish across the country and abroad.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And looking forward to the show screening next fall.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time.